Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Is Becky Lynch the greatest women's wrestler of all time? Well, according to Sports Illustrated, the answer is yes. They have Becky Lynch ranked number one as the greatest female wrestler of all time. Now, I don't fully agree with this. I think my top three would be Charlotte Flair, Trish Stratus, then Becky Lynch. And the reason I put Trish at number two is just because there is really no female wrestling without Trish Stratus. Like the way she just worked through the trenches, she ate a lot of shit, she did the absolute best she could with what she was given and still was able to succeed in the ring, out of the ring, perform well, become a great wrestler, and do all of these things through really unhealthy and hard conditions. And so that's why Trish Stratus has to be in the top three no matter what discussion you have, because there's literally, there's no Sasha Banks and Bayley and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, and there's no great NXT women's division right now currently if Trish Stratus doesn't do what she does, if she doesn't actually set the path and create the path and be the trailblazer that she is. So she has to be at number two at least. And then I think Charlotte Flair is a bit better than Becky Lynch in terms of status, in terms of greatest of all time, in terms of legacy, in terms of number of championship wins. I think that has to go into account as well when thinking about the greatest female wrestler of all time. And so I have Charlotte Flair number one, Trish Stratus number two, and Becky Lynch number three. All three unbelievably talented professional wrestlers and have done amazing stuff in their career. I mean, Becky Lynch at one point was the most popular wrestler, not just female, was the most popular wrestler on the planet when her The Man sort of thing took off. I mean, unbelievable. That skyrocketed her into superstardom and now is really obviously made the discussion about who's the greatest women's wrestler of all time very complicated because she did that, had that run, skyrocketed herself into superstardom, but I still think it's Charlotte Flair, Trish Stratus, the real GOAT, and then Becky Lynch. But then speaking of Becky Lynch, will she be at WrestleMania 41? Well, she's currently very healthy. She's signed, still signed, so everything is good with her contract and she's healthy. So they're sort of working out creative details, potential plans. So we might see Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 41 if the right creative direction is planned for her moving into the biggest show of the year. So we may see Becky Lynch there. We may not. We may see her, the Raw after WrestleMania, which is always a big deal. And so not every surprise or every big match has to happen at WrestleMania 41. We could potentially see her start a feud with some NXT women who got brought up to the main roster or one of the mid-card titles or anything like that to elevate those things as you go, because Becky Lynch, again, is one of the most popular WWE superstars and one of the best female wrestlers of all time. So I'm excited to see Becky Lynch back on the roster, see what she's doing, see what she has to offer. The Man is always great to have around. And then speaking of shows, let's talk about fucking SmackDown. Let's talk about fucking SmackDown being 3 hours. Initially, when I saw SmackDown being 3 hours, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. They got a ton of time to actually do like real matches. They don't have to rush segments. They can get on some TV time for underutilized talent. Wow, this is going to be an awesome experience. And really, the 3 hour show just hasn't been good. It hasn't landed well. It's been flat. Some of the segments have been flat. They haven't utilized the time to the best of their ability. It seems like they're trying to make SmackDown just a secondary show, and they haven't put as much emphasis and intensity into planning out those shows. Now, I think they're going to be 3 hours until June when they go back to 2 hours. So they still have an extended amount of time here with the 3 hour show format to really dive deep and actually do some of the things I thought they might do, like use underutilized talent, get them TV time, have them develop their characters and all these sorts of things, because 2 hours is a tight window. You don't get a lot of segments in a 2 hour TV segment. Or in a 2 hour TV time slot. And so you have to put over some of the big matches and big characters and big promos and big segments. But with an extra hour, you can add underutilized talent who you want to build up, who you want to be the stars of the future. But now they're just the segments are slow, they're kind of boring, they're doing a lot of ads. It's like you can use this time wisely, so might as well take advantage of it until June when you go back to 2 hours and everything is sort of a little bit crunchier and a little bit tighter. Because Monday Night Raw, since moving to Netflix, has been really good, especially with their time format where it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes-ish. They've been really utilizing that time well. Might as well transfer it over to SmackDown, make that also a premiere show where people have to come watch. Even if The Rock isn't booked and announced to come on that show, you still want people to go there to be able to develop the storylines and the characters and a lot of people that are on that show. So I think they can do a better job. They can definitely do a better job with SmackDown. Even though it's still 3 hours until June, then they can continue doing that great job. And maybe by then they've developed new stars in that 3 hour format. They've developed underutilized stars. Now they're utilized. Now they can express their talent and their gifts and their creativity. And that's really what we want with that 3 hour format as a fan. And then the last thing we'll discuss is Randy Orton. I discuss Randy Orton almost every single video that I do for my channel of Pro Wrestling Daily. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. But Randy Orton, I predicted Randy Orton like 8 times, not 8, a couple times coming back, and he hasn't. I thought he was going to come back at the Royal Rumble and help Kevin Owens, I thought he was going to come back at the Royal Rumble and help Cody Rhodes defeat Kevin Owens. That didn't happen. Not really help Cody Rhodes, but just get his revenge on Kevin Owens. And so then Cody Rhodes retains the title. That didn't happen, right? Because remember, Kevin Owens gave Randy Orton a pile driver. That's why he's been out on injury. I believe it was around November 8th, I want to say. So he's been out like a long time now. So I thought Royal Rumble, he'll definitely come back. Oh, I didn't see him in the ladder match. He'll definitely come back in the Royal Rumble match. Oh, shit, that didn't happen. Now we have the Elimination Chamber. Now we have this corporate Rock, sell your soul type thing. Maybe Randy Orton's waiting at home thinking about that. Maybe Randy Orton wants to sell his soul to The Rock. But then we also have this Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn match. And I'm like, oh, Randy Orton's going to come back there and he's going to beat the shit out of Kevin Owens and he's going to help Sami Zayn win this match. Or maybe he's been spending so much time at home that he's sort of forgotten about the pile driver and realized all the things that Kevin Owens was saying. He's now right. And now he's invested in trying to get his soul to become the corporate champion for The Rock. So he's going to get involved somehow in the Elimination Chamber, or he's talking to The Rock behind the scenes and something's going to happen at the Elimination Chamber. Apparently that's not going to happen either, but I don't know. WWE announces stuff all the time and it still could not be true. I still hold out hope that Randy Orton will return at the Elimination Chamber along with Roman Reigns and Jade Cargill, but they did announce Randy Orton for some European dates, and the European dates are going to be absolutely fucking stacked. I mean, they've already announced CM Punk, they've already announced Roman Reigns. Now they know that Randy Orton is coming back for those European dates to get him ready for WrestleMania 41, which I have no idea what he's going to be doing. Maybe he's going to be wrestling Logan Paul. Maybe he's going to be wrestling Kevin Owens in a huge feud. Maybe he's going to sell his soul to The Rock and be the corporate champion, and we'll get Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in a main event for the WWE Championship. There's so many options that could happen for Randy Orton, who's one of the best to ever do it. Again, he's in my Mount Rushmore. That's why I talk about him on every single episode of the show. He's in my Mount Rushmore. John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, and Macho Man Randy Savage are in my Mount Rushmore. And so I love Randy Orton. Can't wait for him to return, see what happens for him on his road to WrestleMania. And he might sell his soul to The Rock, and I might cry when that happens. Just kidding. But excited to see what Randy Orton does and what's going to happen for him at WrestleMania 41. But I think that's all I have for you today on today's video. My name is Aaron Machbitz. This is Pro Wrestling Daily. Make sure you comment below anything you thought was important that I missed, or your reactions to anything, predictions, things you agree with, disagree with. I'd absolutely love to hear from you because we're trying to grow this channel together. So make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this channel with every single wrestling fan you know on the planet. And I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.